always talking about hard winning the league. I'm sure that last 112, you were like, take starters out and put the reserves in. They got crazy there.
Yeah, they scored like 11 points in the last minute of the game. It's something that group for sure can be better as far as finishing it out. But with a game tomorrow and the game pretty much in hand, Cam Johnson's situation was not going to let that happen again. But we played our tails off tonight. Played against one of the best scoring duos in the league, in the NBA. Those guys got their points, but we did a really good job on everybody else. And we had balanced scoring tonight. 6 guys in double figures and 31 assists on the road against a really good defensive team. Like, that's balance. The other day we had a bounce back win. Tonight was a balanced win. Defensively, we gave up some points in the second half, but that second quarter defense was probably what won us the game.
Devin, once he got it going in that first half, how nice was it seeing him just ride that out and continue?
I mean, he's Devin. When you see him knocking down shots like that in rhythm, we feed off of it. It's one of those things where you're watching it and it's in the flow. It's not something forced, and that's what I liked about it. We all know Book can score the ball. I was really impressed with the defense that he and Mikal and Jay and Cam played on Levine and DeRozan. Those guys scored, but it was a tough whatever it was tonight between those two guys. I mean, DeRozan had 38 and Zach had 32. A lot of it was off the bounce, fades, shots like that. You don't like them when they go in, but if you can wear guys out in that environment and nobody else is touching the ball, I think it gives you somewhat of an advantage.
Also, interesting when you guys, they got within 9 and you went to 8 and down the stretch and got him solved situation with him. What made you?
It wasn't anything choreographed. It was what the game dictated. They were blitzing Chris and Book and pick and rolls, so DA got some seals. JaVale was good diving to the basket tonight, like both of those guys. We got to be better with our foul awareness. DA got in early foul trouble. Then he picked up the 5th one. I kind of rode it for a minute, and then he fouled out with 2 minutes. Like, those are things that he can learn from, how to play down the stretch and read the game in that environment. But his seals tonight were impressive. I thought the one that he got that made them call a timeout was one of those that, gave us a bit of a buffer. And then we came out of that timeout and executed for another, I think it was a foul on that particular play. So it wasn't anything that we choreographed and said, we're trying to get DA here. They were blitzing pick and roll. He was diving. And because we had shooters on the backside, he was able to, create some offense for himself.
With DA, I think coming into tonight, he was shooting like 64% on that hook shot of his. How much of a weapon is that?
I mean, that's Coach Mark Bryant putting in a ton of work. I don't think that he was as efficient with that shot our first year. I think everybody believes in that shot and kind of drives everybody nuts when he has a guy pinned down there and he fades away. That's the one where you're like, dude, you got this jump hook that nobody's stopping. Like, you got to ride that thing out until they do stop it.
With Book, when he came out, was everything okay with his knee?
He said he was fine. It was a physical game. I mean, these guys, they get after you on both ends. They're one of the best cutting teams in the league, and that creates contact. And then they have 2 guards that play off the dribble. And so you got to play physical defense against those guys. So I think he's fine. He and Mikal had a few tweaks, but they seem to be okay.
Is it like a knee or a calf?
I'm not quite sure.
Looking at it, obviously coming up with Philadelphia, and we talk about a back-to-back, and Embiid just had a monster game here. I know you like to savor wins, but also turn the page.
I am going to savor it. So I'm going to wait till I get on the plane, start thinking about Joel and Maxey and all the guys they have, Danny Green, Tobias. Like, they got a crew. But this is one you have to enjoy. It's a road win against second best team in the East. I mean, you have to relish these opportunities. Anytime you can win on the road, it's special. And we got 2 in a row. And we want to make this a really good trip. And the way to do that is to, take it step by step. We'll get our showers in, get some food in us, and then we'll start watching film and getting ready for tomorrow.
With Booker, I know you say that Booker's scoring a lot of it comes within the flow of the offense.
Sure.
But in that first quarter, it just seems like he's been on a tear lately with that first quarter scoring. Is there anything different about that first quarter that he just kind of is more assertive, or is that just kind of flow of the game?
I don't think so. I just think it happens within the scheme of what we're doing. He's not going to grab the ball and taking 10 dribbles to go shoot a shot that's contested, that kind of thing. I think there was one time at the elbow where he held it for a long time, and we were a bit unorganized on that particular play. But other than that, I just came within the framework of what we do. And, that's something that's not talked about. When guys score that many points, you tend to think that they just go grab the ball and jack up shots. But I thought what he did tonight, and if you look at the balance we had, it was pretty indicative of the ball movement. So many guys were able to not just touch it, but get off good looks.
Finish on Zoom with Kellen Olson.
Hey, Monty, to the point you just made, how nice was it to see the offense kind of execute against a defensive scheme like that was trapping and forcing you guys to beat them through ball movement, essentially?
It's just who we are. We don't have to reinvent the style of basketball that we want to play or we play every single night. We just have to be ourselves and understand that we have counters, and the ball movement at times can hurt the counters, hurt the defense because we have counters. And so tonight, all we talked about was touching the paint. And I thought we did a really good job of that, whether it's on penetration or our bigs getting there, and that forced them to help. And then we were really selfless and unselfish by moving the ball to the backside. Coach B. Gates has been talking about it for a while. When teams take away your first option, the scoring option is on the other side. And so when we move the ball from side to side, the numbers say that we're pretty good. And the ball movement was and has been pretty good the last 2 games. Thank you. Yep.